a little more enthusiasm. Live from New York!
He's going to break it if
It's
he does.
the show that, I'll be honest, really is thankful pro sports are back tonight. Like, I watched some college basketball last night, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe the NBA doesn't deserve as much criticism because this product is not the NBA product. It is.
Not what it used to be.
First things first. Earlier this month, some reports came out that Kevin Durant could be traded to the Golden State Warriors at the deadline. The deal never went through. A lot of folks, myself included, by the way, took KD nixing the deal as a sign that he simply didn't want to play with Draymond again. Durant says that isn't the reason, and he gave the actual reason he didn't want to be traded to Golden State or anywhere at the deadline. I like that he included the I didn't want to move part, because I think we always forget that part about athlete trades.
No, that's
like
real.
literally just picking up your life
Yeah.
during the year when you're supposed to be at work, you know, the next day and moving all of that. Brew, do you think Durant made the right decision in saying he wants to, at the very least, finish this year, not necessarily his contract, but this year in Phoenix?
Well, look, first of all, more power to him. He's been a guy that seems to have been searching for happiness. Remember, even in Golden State, he said he thought winning the championship would fill a void, and it didn't. So if he's happy in Phoenix, personally, good for him. He has said, and goes back to 2018, he's told us what he's looking for in terms of basketball. This is a quote. He gave this quote to Zach Lowe. I mean, I'm crazy about winning. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not obsessed with winning championships. It's not the only reason I play. I play for individual growth. So I think KD is like, is my handle better today than it was yesterday? Like, that's what I'm looking for. And that's great. We know he is a straight hooper who loves the game. But here's the thing, KD. We judge your individual growth by winning. Not just championships, but you have to be winning at a high level. If you score a bunch of points as like a veteran player on a bad team, you don't get the same props as a guy doing that on a good team. And that's why, like, I've heard people say Kevin Durant's as good as ever. Look at him. And if you look at the numbers, you would think that 27.3 points a game, which is his exact career average. 6 rebounds, about 5 assists, shooting 40% from 3, 4 assists a game. But I know Kevin Durant, while still great, is not what he used to be because they're not winning. They're 11th in the West. They might not even make the play-in, let alone the playoffs. And there's no way Kevin Durant, at the height of his powers, I don't care who's playing with him, he's in the playoffs, period. And so that's how we judge things. So from a basketball vantage point, I think he made a mistake. Now, not talking his personal feelings, but I think he should have gone to Golden State. I think Steve Kerr talking about, he gave a quote like, I get it. He got so much criticism when he came here. I think that's hogwash because this is a totally different situation. If Durant had gone to Golden State now, he is viewed as the savior. He's not viewed as hopping on the bandwagon again. Oh, they won 73 games the year he went there and had beat him in the playoffs. He goes now, I know they won the championship a few years ago, but they're in danger. I know Jimmy Butler wouldn't have been there, but they're in danger of missing the play-in or playoffs as well. So he would go there, be a savior, and I really think had he gone there, they would have had a chance to win a championship. And had they done it, this would have been his best championship. Just like LeBron's in Cleveland is his best championship. So I think he missed out on an opportunity. So I think he did make the wrong decision.
To your point, I think he made the right decision for himself emotionally and how he feels about the game of basketball. I disagree with you saying that the Steve Kerr statement was hogwash. I think that's a part of the reason why he didn't go. And I do believe that with him saying he wanted to stay and finish this season out, like, there's a part of Kevin Durant that understands, like, I am going to be judged based on where I am at and what I'm doing. And so if he were to say, okay, let's make this trade happen, you know what we all would say? Okay, Golden State is clearly one of the favorites to win it all over again. I don't know if Kevin Durant really likes to carry that type of weight. I think
and that's a negative to me.
It may be, but I think he just wants to play basketball and then right off into the sunset. Everyone, when we listen to players and anyone, they always make this statement: I don't care what people think about me. Everyone says that. No one's actions truly always support that statement. Like almost.
Well, and Durant, just not to interrupt you, but just to support what you're saying, I don't think Durant is necessarily as obsessed with what it appears that his image or reputation is as he was earlier in his career, but he will mix it up with, he will argue directly with people. And I have not, by the way, I actually like that about him. He puts his name to it. He's like, hey, here's where I stand on things. But you only do that if you are not only aware, but care in some way, shape, or form what is being said about you or what is being said about the league or your team and want to correct the records.
Yeah, so for me, him staying in Phoenix and being 11th in the West and still having an opportunity to get into the play-in and to get his team in position to where they can try to do something, I can respect that, because if he does it in Phoenix, it would be more meaningful than if he did it in Golden State. If he gets in and they make a deep run.
So a deep, but nobody, like, if they just get in the playoffs, that's not an achievement. Because you got Devin Booker and the Bradley Beal, like, they should be a playoff team.
But a deep run would be, I think there's just kind of different tiers of credit, right? So obviously, the best thing is winning a championship. I think we all agree he would get more credit winning a championship at Phoenix than if he had went to Golden State. But your point is they have no chance of winning the championship in Phoenix. Like, there is kind of, my buddy Ty Butler, who does radio in New York, he's a huge KD guy, and he's been promoting this. And I like this from a basketball storybook standpoint as well. And we've talked about it a bit, which is if OKC were to get whacked early in the playoffs, and then he goes there in the offseason, and then that team wins a championship. Even though that's an excellent team, it would feel like he put them over the top. Same thing, and that would be the storybook because that's where he started. Or take Minnesota.
It would be similar to Golden State a little bit. Not quite. No,
I'm saying if OKC were to lose in round one. If they're the one seed and they get,
it wouldn't be totally like Golden State, but it'd still be like,
okay, well then take Minnesota. Because Minnesota is a team.
Which I actually like.
Which I like a lot, where if Minnesota, they got to a conference finals. This year they've underachieved. If they lose in round one, he goes there. No one would look at that as like bandwagon hopping. And he would be the final piece, even if Anthony Edwards next year was a better player than Kevin Durant. So I don't begrudge him this. Because I didn't begrudge him leaving Golden State. Because I was one of the main people that was like, this was a BS move. You know what I mean? So I didn't think it was fair for those, not everyone felt that way, but those of us that thought this was a BS move to then be like, and you should have stayed, that would be unfair. Like, I didn't like him going there, so him leaving, I'm not going to criticize. The risk he's running, though, by playing out this year is, man, I don't know how many more great years Steph or Durant have. They're both 36. Steph turns 37 in a few weeks. And I picked 23 points because Steph's averaging just over 23 points this year. Here's the full list of 36-year-olds NBA history to average just 23 a game at age 36 or later. KD this year, Steph this year, Kareem once, Karl Malone twice, and LeBron 5 times. Take LeBron out of it because he's just similar to Malone, just freak athlete. It doesn't happen.
I think it'll start happening more, though.
I agree it will start happening more, but the fact that, Michael Jordan never played a single game as a Bull at age 36. Kobe Bryant never averaged 23 a game at 36. If Durant is open to being a Warrior and was like, maybe in the offseason, the point that I'm making is I don't know if this Steph KD combo,
okay, I get you,
know what I mean? A year from now,
if he's cool with being a Warrior, the time
it will get another playoff run because at some point it is diminishing returns. KD, Steph, and LeBron are already breaking all history as far as high-level scoring after the age of 35. We really have never. I just showed you the whole list. It feels like it'll just keep going on forever. I don't know how realistic that is.
I honestly have a question for you because I've heard you talk about KD being outside of your top 10.
Yes.
And if he were to, let's say he were to go to Golden State and he were to win a championship,
Yeah.
Would that get
Well,
him?
yeah, I mean, if that would that change?
In the top 10, it would add something, but it wouldn't get him in my top 10.
And that's my issue with it. It's like if it was a move that was going to completely change the landscape of how we look at Kevin Durant and say, oh, man, he's top 10. He's a top 5 player now because he went there and he won. We would look at him that way if he were able to get it done with Phoenix.
But they
I'm not saying that they have a chance, but if he were to get it done there, we would give him
it would be
all
a
the
bigger
credit.
legacy boost. There's no question about it. And I also think that you wouldn't have killed him for going back to Golden State,
No,
Brew.
and I didn't kill him the
if
first
you didn't kill him the
time,
first
fair.
time, you're also much more reasonable than most people on the internet, and I would say more reasonable than a lot of people who do this for a living.
Yeah.
I do think there would be some loud voices that if he went to Golden State and they won, even if they didn't
Would
win
you
the title.
be critical?
No,
Because
I wouldn't.
I think
but
it's a totally different situation.
I agree, but there would be a lot of, man, what can this dude do without Steph? Like, you know what I mean? There'd be a lot of that. So I understand, like, even if it's irrational, I'm not going to act like it wouldn't exist even if we wouldn't be doing it. All right, let's move on to the Lakers. They host the Hornets tonight, and they travel to Portland tomorrow. They could be without LeBron for both of those games. Team reportedly is weighing the value of chemistry with LeBron and Luka getting as many games together as possible, along with rest, with LeBron being the oldest player in the league. Brew, what should the Lakers' top priority be? Rest for LeBron or reps for the duo?
Rest, no question. Because if you don't have LeBron healthy, number one, or if he's hindered he's playing, but he's hindered, he's not 100%, or if he's just worn down to the point where he can't give you 100% of what he is now, you have no chance really of making a deep playoff run. Even though chemistry is important and they have been 2-ball dominant guys, I do think you have a better chance of making a playoff run or deep playoff run even if they don't really haven't played a lot together. If LeBron is at 100% at this age and Luka's 100%, they're two highly intelligent guys. LeBron has gotten a lot better at playing off the ball. I think they would be able to figure it out enough to be a very dangerous team that you don't want to see. So there's no question to me it's about rest.
Initially, I thought rest, and I even was thinking, you know what, it has to be rest, but that's only exclusively to one player and one individual, and that's LeBron James.
Yeah,
and so this is why I'm saying chemistry. It has to be the chemistry because this is everyone is involved as it pertains to chemistry. With LeBron off the court and him resting, the chemistry still needs to be established.
Okay, I agree with that.
Everyone
with Luka,
else.
Yes,
Because Austin Reeves, who's bringing the ball up the court, he's now going to have to play off the ball if they want the version of Luka that they're excited about in LA and they're thinking that they're going to get to support LeBron James. With LeBron on the court, the chemistry is going to be there if he's there and he's able to establish that. If he's off the court resting, I know we think LeBron can just come in and just fill the void and just play alongside of whoever's on the court. But if it's not just offensively, defensively, the guys have to see, okay, LeBron typically plays a guy who's not going to be as much as an offensive threat. So does Luka.
Right.
So who's going to do that? There's going
I
to,
mean,
but there's so many more moving pieces as it pertains to why the chemistry is much more important than the rest. I get it. We're talking about a 40-year-old guy. I just trust LeBron to be at his best.
And I trust LeBron to figure out the chemistry.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's here's the old guys in the league and the minutes they've played. And so everybody again, so LeBron, of all the old guys, has played the most minutes, and he's the oldest of the old guys.
Far older.
And Brew's point that if he goes into these playoffs at 80%, they're drawing dead, is why I agree with you. I want Luka playing as much as possible.
Absolutely.
I want Luka getting chemistry with Rui, and he's played with Dorian before, but Vanderbilt and Austin Reeves, all of that, and trust LeBron's basketball brain to be able to take every game he doesn't play in as intense film study. There's another piece of this that I think makes rest even more important, and it's something I'm surprised more people haven't talked about. Maybe they will once the games start being played. Brew, I think LeBron's going to end up playing a lot of center. I think that The Lakers are going, like, Alex Lynn is going to be a spot player. People are talking about them trying to get Bismack beyond, but, like, and Jackson Hayes is what he is. Their most potent lineup will be a small ball 5, and with LeBron playing that small ball 5 center, Rui maybe playing a little. And the reason I bring that up is Anthony Davis didn't like playing center because of how exhausting it was on that end of the court. You saw LeBron a bit in the series against the Nuggets in the fourth quarters. He would be guarding Jokic and playing it. I think they're going to ask him to do that, which is an outrageous ask for a guy at age 40, but it's the roster they have where, I mean, I don't know if you disagree with the basketball piece of that. I just think because of that, he is going to need to be as fresh as possible come the playoffs, because I think they're going to be asking him to do something he hasn't really done much in his basketball life, which is play a lot of the 5 position for a team that has a real championship.
No, look, I think he should play some center for them, like a good amount, because he'll kill centers offensively. Defensively, I don't want him kind of battling up with Jokic, and I probably would put Rui on him. I would let LeBron, not guard the bigger centers that'll pound you in down low, but I think they'll be highly effective with LeBron at center, because he can score on anybody inside, and he'll take them outside and hit threes and stuff. So I agree that can be effective for him.
All right, let's go to the dunk contest real quick. Mac McClung's three-peat was evidently quite inspiring, so much so he's got some big names ready to enter next year's event. Saw Aaron Gordon there. He tweeted, "I still got some." And then Zach LaVine said, thinking I might have to again. Thinking I might have to again, pardon me. Greg, are you starting to believe this could happen?
I am. And the fact that even Ja Morant kind of got in on it a little bit.
Ja started it.
I know. Yeah. I would have loved for them to kind of do what Rachel Nichols did to everybody with the one-on-one and be like, Ja, are you locking in? But the fact that they're talking about it, like, you don't really talk about something, especially on social media. It's like once you start putting it out there on social media, you kind of have to do it. And I think with Aaron Gordon saying this, Zach LaVine, they want to run it back. If they are able to do this and bring the dunk contest back, viewership, everybody will start to get more excited.
Do you think those guys still have that in them is my only question.
So it doesn't matter if they do or don't. The fact that they're having this discussion and they've won it, and we've seen what the dunk contest looks like. And if they can pull somebody else in like Ja, who then can possibly pull in a guy like Zion Williamson if he's healthy, like it's like dunk contest is back alive and thriving.
Well, I agree that it doesn't matter for the excitement of the contest. But if I'm Aaron Gordon or Zach LaVine, I want to make sure I still have it before I get in this.
Because
to me,
those were
honestly,
legendary
they're slam dunk contest legends. They were fantastic, and they're only 29. Dr. J got in it at 34. Now he lost, but like if they still can do some nasty stuff, then they should get into it. But I don't want them going out there and not being as good at it and losing to essentially a G League player. So if they're great, I want Ant in it too.
I was going to say, if Ant's got the confidence he seems to have talking to President Obama, he should have the confidence to do the dunk contest. Like he just, but I also wanted to, because I know there is this narrative that the stars don't do the dunk contest anymore. Some people blame LeBron for it, because he never did it. Dunk contest died 20 years ago. I said this and you agreed with me, and I just want to show the audience. The dunk contest has always been cyclical.
Yeah.
The 80s had an unbelievable run in the late 80s.
It just started.
It started. And Neek and MJ. I think people have memory hold what the 1990s dunk contests were, because Vince in 2000 was legendary. Here's the winners. D. Brown pretended to cover his eyes and won.
Yep.
But that was kind of nice back then.
There was a Harold Miner era.
Yes.
And people would be like, oh, Jordan. Kobe was in it. That was Kobe as a rookie.
Like
Kobe was he was a popular player, but it wasn't like one of the best players in the league.
Brent Barry went from the foul line.
Right. Nice. I understand. It was nice, but these aren't superstar players. Is the point I'm making.
But you had some in it that lost. To these guys.
Correct. And then you're going to be like, wait, what happened in 1998? They just flat didn't hold it. Like, there's like, we're not having it this year, and then 99 was a lockout, so you couldn't hold it. But the 90s were not exactly like the golden era of the dunk contest. There were some nice moments that we remember, but it was really Vince in 2000 that was the stop the world performance.
Right.
And then, I'll be honest, I only really, between Vince and then these guys, the Levine-Gordon, kind of duel, the only dunk contest that I really have super fond memories of is the Dwight Howard one. And I don't remember what year it was. I just remember watching it. But, like, it's always been ebbs and flows. There was I remember a period of time people were really mad when they made it to where it was limitless misses, and it felt like the guys
Nate
kept
Robinson,
trying.
I think, missed 19 straight.
And so,
he won.
And so I just say that because right now it's very popular to just kind of, dump on everything NBA All-Star related. The dunk contest has to organically come back.
Honestly, though, I agree with what you said. But without McClung, and Stephon Castle was pretty good. But if you look at these last 3 years without McClung, it was arguably the worst it's been.
Hands down.
Like, these were terrible. And one is I will say, guys, some of these guys haven't been very good dunkers, to be honest. But guys are trying stuff nowadays that's just, it's hard to do it every single time. McClung makes most of his dunks, obviously. But, yeah, I think it'll be great, though, if these dudes get in.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.